Welcome back, Seek on the Speed 252 family. I hope you have an amazing Friday. Let's hop into some interesting C8 mini-engine Corvette information. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Clarence, and I want to first of all thank you for pushing that play button. If you are originally part of the channel, I want to thank you for being here with me today, and I hope you have an amazing Friday. And if you are new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button right now so you can get a lot of information on the Corvette, on future cars, and definitely the C8 mini-engine Corvette as well. For a lot of you that recently watched my last C8 mini-engine Corvette video, there's been a lot of news about information being leaked about this car. The engine size, the wheel size, etc., etc., etc. And now GM also seem to find themselves in the limelight again with this mini-engine Corvette C8 prototype that's been crashed at the VIR. For a lot of you that don't know, VIR is actually located in Virginia. It stands for Virginia International Raceway. It's one of the best tracks in the country actually to perform on. I had the pleasure of actually going on this track a few times with my C7 Corvette, and I can tell you it was an amazing time. I just released a video recently, my last video, of me actually driving on this track. Unfortunately, in wet conditions, there was a few cars that actually wiped out, Mustangs, Nissan, Mazda, something like that of that sort. And it's an amazing track to be a part of. If you haven't had the experience to be there, please go there. That track will be open April 19th for an experience, that type of thing like I did before. So definitely come out there and join us between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm definitely going to be out there as long as the weather is definitely great, which I'm hoping on April 19th the weather will be nice. But once again, VIR is one of the best tracks in the country. So I know a lot of you are curious. The C8 mini-engine prototype crashed at the VIR. Now a lot of people are thinking like, oh, maybe this track is probably not that great. A lot of cars have been crashing there. That's not really the case. There's been cars that have crashed there because it's one of those things where it's a track, things happen, and unfortunately, some people aren't professional, but these guys that were driving the C8 mini-engine Corvette, I am hoping were professional when they were test driving this car. And once again, it's a demo or a prototype, so crashing is probably some of the things that's probably involved in this vehicle. But I want to talk about some of the things of why this possibly could have happened and what could have gone on the day at the VIR racetrack. So I try to talk about bits and pieces of the C8 mini-engine Corvette because I'm definitely very involved in this car, and I'm very curious of how well this car will perform once it does come out. I know a lot of you is probably like, how do you get the information about the VIR racetrack? Well, I live only an hour away from this racetrack, so I can tell you that anything C8 related, I will definitely get some information about it. So let's go ahead and hop into the video and some of the things I found out as well. And at this point, you can also find some of this information on the mini-engine Corvette forum as well. Most articles out there is pretty much saying the mini-engine Corvette C8 prototype suffered a crash while undergoing testing at the Virginia International Raceway. A lot of manufacturers, GM, Toyota, Ferrari, Lamborghini, take their time to rent out this actual racetrack, the Virginia International Raceway, to test their vehicles on this lot. They actually do it to get their private session on, to actually see exactly how well this car will perform without any people, breaking in or interfering with their testing. Well, this is exactly what happened with the mini-engine Corvette. And so what happened was the day of the testing was going on. It was the last day of the testing. And some people in the area was actually going to test out the track themselves, hoping to get a couple of track runs and also learn a few things about the track, not knowing that there was a special event going on. When they got to the track, one of the people that worked for VIR told them at this time there are some delays and you won't be able to get on the track due to some delays that's going on. And a lot of people didn't know exactly what the days going on. Obviously, they're not allowed to tell them what's going on, but they keep them in a loop that there will be some delays going on the track today. Due to private high security track rentals, they realized something was going on bigger than they thought it was. They knew at that point it wasn't anything track related, but something regarding the car related. And come to find out later on, they heard that Chevrolet was there at the track testing a twin turbo version of the mini-engine C8 Corvette when it crashed. So let me go ahead and point out some things that I talked about in the previous video. It sounds like the base model will end up being an LT2 engine, which is not the twin turbo charged version of the C8 mini-engine Corvette. We also heard in the past that the twin turbocharged C8 mini-engine Corvette was so powerful that it bent the frame of the car, which starting to tell us like this car might be more powerful than we actually thought it was going to be. This is very exciting, but also kind of scary. Once again, there's not a lot of people out there that can handle 900 to 1,000 horsepower. But It seems as though the professional drivers that GM has behind the C8 Minutes Corvette are also not able to handle this car as well, if this amount of power is bending the frame and also they're crashing at a racetrack. From some of the research I did in the past, the C7R is only about 550 horsepower compared to the 900 horsepower that they planning to put in the C8 Mini Corvette. That's about enough horsepower you actually need on the track. 550 horsepower is plenty. And honestly, my 465 horsepower is plenty. And sometimes some people who take their Z06s to the track can't even put down the 650 horsepower anyways. So what's the purpose of this 900 horsepower is my question. So before I get into the rest of the details about the crash, give me your answer. What is the purpose of this 900 horsepower C8 Mini Corvette? Now, after hearing about the rumors of the C8 Mini Corvette crashing at the VIR and possibly too much horsepower bending the frame, I'm starting to think, is there something maybe wrong with the driver who doesn't actually know how to drive this car on this type of track? Or is it too much horsepower in this car that keeps him from driving this car the way it should be driven? Or is this possibly something else mechanical going on with the C8 Mini Corvette they just haven't figured out yet regarding the drivability and things like that on a type of track? Don't get me wrong, it's everyone's dream to own a 900 to 1,000 horsepower car. A car that has that much horsepower where you actually don't have to do any modifications to, and you can get a warranty from that car from the dealership. Man, that's incredible. I mean, it's incredible to think about how great of a car this possibly could be if GM could figure out all the kinks and odds they need to do in order to have a 900 to 1,000 horsepower car that comes with a warranty from the dealership. Freaking insane in my personal opinion. Once again, I would like to thank each and every one of you that has been part of the channel since the day I started, and also for all of you that recently subscribed. Thank you very much for helping the channel grow, and my goal is to reach 10,000 followers, so thank you for being part of that journey, and I greatly appreciate it. I hope at some point to see you all across the country. I love to travel a lot during the summertime to come out to a couple of events in the area or somewhere in other states to actually meet some of you all, because once again, this is a family. And I love to see Corvette content in general. I love to see you all's cars. I love to see how much you talk about them, how much you care about them, your experience about them, how you got them, and things like that. So hopefully once this summertime comes around really quickly, because now it's about to approach pollen season, I'm able to take the vet out and come to different locations where you all at and come meet and greet you. So definitely be a part of the channel. Let's reach 10,000 followers, and let's keep on going with this video. Now, hearing a lot of things about the C8 Mini Corvette being leaked regarding a twin turbo and a base model, GM seemed at first to be doing a great job of keeping this car on the wraps, but at this point it sounds like they're not really doing that great of a job if they want to keep this car covered. Once again, I personally believe some of this stuff could be due to GM just leaking it on their own to keep us entertained, to keep that hype going, to keep us talking about it. So that way, when this car is finally released, it hopefully can deliver everything that they're hoping to deliver. I will admit though, I don't believe GM mainly crashed this car on purpose at the VIR racetrack just as I was talking about it, because a lot of people actually do not know about this actually happened. The reason why I say this is because a lot of people have been skeptical if this actually happened at the VIR racetrack this past weekend. And a lot of people don't know this information was actually leaked out by someone at the track, and they actually went back to the track the day of this event happening, and this piece of camouflage that you see right here is actually off the C8 Mini Corvette the day that it crashed. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think nobody would have just made this piece up. I don't think nobody would have cut this. If you take a look at it, it looks exactly like the camouflage pieces that's actually on C8 Mini Corvette, whether it's the base model or the twin turbo. I can't tell you what piece this is from on the C8 Mini Corvette. Maybe you all seen enough photos out there that has been leaked that maybe you can tell me exactly what part of the car this actually came off of, but I can't tell you exactly what part. But I do not believe somebody made this up in order to leak this information about the C8 Mini Corvette. And I'm surprised GM left a piece this size, this big, at the track, and probably they was just discombobulated that they wanted to get off the track before anybody else found anything out about it and just left this piece behind. At the end of the day, this proves that there was a car accident at the VIR racetrack this past weekend. Either way, I'm still very excited to figure out more information about this car. I'm very excited to keep bringing you content about this car. I'm very excited and cannot wait for the reveal of this car, because it seems like this car is still having a lot of hype behind it. I don't know if GM's taking too long to release this car on purpose, or they're just truly trying to figure out the kinks of this car. But at the end of the day, I definitely think it's going to be something that's going to knock our socks off. But until then, we'll just have to keep waiting. Thank you for pushing that play button. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. We would love to have you.